Most people walk into a grocery store every week and assume everything will always be there. But what if that's no longer true? What if some of the most basic foods you rely on are quietly disappearing right in front of you, and almost no one is noticing? Prices don't always jump first. Shelves don't suddenly go empty overnight. It happens slowly, quietly, and by the time people realize it's already too late. In this video, you'll discover 12 everyday foods that are starting to disappear from stores, foods that preppers are already stocking up on fast. And the real reason behind it might surprise you. If you want to stay ahead and avoid paying double later, you need to pay attention to this, because what seems normal today might not be available tomorrow. Let's start with something simple, something almost everyone has at home. Number 12, oats. Cheap, easy to store, and extremely versatile. Oats are one of the first items smart buyers grab during uncertainty, and recently supply, pressure, and rising demand have started tightening availability. Number 11, peanut butter. High in calories, long shelf life, and perfect for storage. But peanut crop issues and supply chain disruptions are slowly pushing prices up and reducing stock. Number 10, canned tuna, a classic emergency food, rich in protein and ready to eat. But rising fuel costs and global fishing limits are making it more expensive and less available. Now this is where things start getting serious. Number 9, rice, one of the most important staple foods in the world. And even small disruptions can affect millions. Export restrictions and climate issues are already pushing prices higher. Number 8, butter, something small but essential, and dairy production challenges are making butter harder to find and more expensive. Number 7, coffee, something millions depend on daily, but climate change and crop issues are reducing supply while demand keeps growing. Wait, the next one might surprise you. Number 6, flour, the base of bread, pasta, and countless foods. And with global wheat supply under pressure, flour availability is becoming less stable. This is where most people make a mistake. They wait until shelves look empty instead of noticing the early warning signs. Number 5, sugar, cheap, easy to store, and used everywhere. But unstable production and rising costs are making a smart item to stock early. Now we're entering the top 4. Number 4, cooking oil already affected by supply chain disruptions and export limits, making it one of the first items to spike in price and disappear. Number 3, pasta, affordable, filling, and long-lasting, but heavily dependent on wheat. So any disruption hits it fast. Wait, we're getting close to the most important ones. Number 2, milk powder, longer shelf life than fresh milk and highly valuable for storage, which is why demand is rising quickly. And finally, number 1, eggs, one of the most basic and essential foods, but supply issues, disease, outbreaks, and rising costs have made them unpredictable, with prices already showing major spikes. And that's the key point. Shortages don't happen overnight. They build quietly, and by the time most people notice, it's already too late. So ask yourself, are you paying attention now or waiting until it's gone? Comment below which of these foods you've noticed changing. And don't forget to like and subscribe to US State Discover for more insights that help you stay one step ahead. Because in times like these, information is your biggest advantage. If you think this only affects a few items, think again. Because what we're seeing right now is not random. It's a pattern. And the deeper you look, the clearer it becomes. These foods are not disappearing because of a single reason, but because multiple pressures are hitting at the same time. Climate change is affecting crops like coffee, rice, and wheat. Supply chain disruptions are slowing down transportation and increasing costs. And global demand is rising faster than production in many cases. And here's something most people completely overlook. When prices don't spike immediately, it creates a false sense of security. People assume everything is fine, while behind the scenes, inventory is quietly shrinking. That's why preppers don't wait for headlines. They watch trends. They notice when shelf space gets smaller, when brands disappear, when prices slowly creep up instead of jumping overnight, and they act early, because timing is everything. Now think about this when one basic food becomes limited. It doesn't just affect that item. It creates a chain reaction. If wheat supply drops, it affects flour, bread, and pasta. If dairy production struggles, it impacts butter, milk, and cheese. If fuel costs rise, it increases the price of transporting everything. And suddenly, multiple everyday items become more expensive or harder to find. And this is exactly how quiet shortages turn into major problems. Not instantly, but gradually, almost invisibly, until it reaches a tipping point, and by then, People rush to stores all at once, shelves empty faster than they can be restocked, and prices surge. This has happened before, and it can happen again. So the real question is not whether these foods are disappearing, but how fast it will happen and whether you'll notice the signs early enough. Because once panic buying starts, it's already too late to prepare calmly, and the people who stay ahead are not the ones who react fast. They're the ones who prepare. Early and right now, the signs are already there if you know where to look. So instead of ignoring small changes, start paying attention to patterns, because those small changes are often the first warning signals of something much bigger. And this is where smart decisions start to matter. Because preparing doesn't mean panic buying or filling your house overnight. It means being aware, staying calm, and making small, consistent moves before everyone else reacts. Start by focusing on the basics you already use every day. Buy a little extra when prices are stable. Rotate your food so nothing goes to waste. And pay attention to how often certain items go out of stock or change in price. These small habits can make a huge difference over time. And here's something important to remember. The goal is not fear. The goal is control. When you prepare early, you avoid stress later. You don't have to deal with empty shelves, sudden price spikes, or last-minute decisions. You stay ahead while others are trying to catch up. And in today's world, that advantage matters more than ever, because uncertainty doesn't announce itself loudly. It builds quietly in the background, and the people who recognize it early are always in a better position. So the next time you walk into a store, don't just shop, observe. Notice what's changing, what's missing, and what's become more expensive, because those details tell a bigger story. Now I want to hear from you. Have you noticed any of these foods becoming harder to find in your area, or getting more expensive than usual? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to like it and subscribe to US State Discover for more insights that help you stay informed, prepared, and one step ahead. Because when it comes to your daily life and your future, the smallest information can make the biggest difference.